Hello, everyone. I am back.
She's back.
This is Korean Nurse Real Estate Pro coming to you with another episode, long time overdue, Walking by Faith podcast. I am so excited to have this wonderful, beautiful guest, Mrs. Meka Wilson.
Hey guys. Hello.
Listen, this is going to be a treat because this is my investment series. Okay, so this series is basically going to be talking about real estate in the eyes of an investor. I want everyone to pay attention to this because you're going to need these skills, you're going to need these tips in order to be an investor. Just so you understand how it is, how difficult it is, but how fulfilling it is. That's why I have Miss Wilson with her because she is a everyday Miami native girl that came up in here and said, I'm going to do what I have to do for my family. Okay? So please tell me a little bit about yourself and to the audience.
So I'm Meka Wilson. Let me throw it out there. I'm not a one-man show. My husband is Sylvester Wilson.
Carol
we
City
are
alumni.
wait a minute. A Viking. But I still love my sister. So we are out-of-state investors. We've been on a journey for about, I'll say, 3 years now.
Okay.
It kind of started during COVID when everybody saw their job wasn't safe. So we was like, we gotta find resources or an avenue that we don't have to depend on having a job.
Yeah.
And we started off with trading. We was into investing. We'll make the money, but we were like, where to put this money?
Okay. And what do you mean by trading?
So we'll trade stocks. Like we'll get in options, we'll get in stocks, we'll make money. And it was just like, okay, what do we do to grow this money? So we looked into real estate, and that's how we got on the journey of real estate.
Okay. So with the trading, with the stocks, that's more of a long term, or was it fast money for it? Or okay, it was fast.
That was fast money, market moving, and we all know what we can do with some fast money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your girl liked to shop. So instead of shopping the bags, I was shopping for doors.
Okay. So that's a way to get some cash to start the investment doing that stock. Okay. So it was fast money, but it was real risky, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So how much did you just give me a ballpark? What did you start off at?
So we started off with a small account. Our account was like, I think he had 1,000, I had 500 in my account. So when we saw $1,000, $1,500, it don't take much, y'all. It take discipline. Because listen, when we first got in, baby, and we saw how easily you could make the money, we easily lost some money too. So it take discipline in it. But I think what pushed us to look into real estate was when we had $1,000 day. Okay. In the investment world, and it was just like, oh, we made $1,000 overnight. What to do with this money before we destroy ourselves or destroy the account?
That's awesome. So what's the time frame looking like? Do you think that somebody, yourself, that they need in order to make the capital to start doing a real estate investment?
You are one paycheck away.
I know that's right.
We can look into that. Our budget, if we have budgets, we can look in it and say, what can I take away? Whether it's Netflix, whether it's going out to eat, you're one paycheck away. Like literally, maybe you could take $250 from this paycheck, $100 from this paycheck to come up with $500. Like it does not take a lot.
Yeah. And just backing up a little bit, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, they have a full-time job.
Absolutely.
What do you do, Miss Wilson?
So I'm a therapist by day.
Mental health?
Mental health by day.
We all need it. Help me, Jesus.
So I'm a therapist by day. I do therapy, but right now we're transitioning to do couples therapy. We have a relationship podcast. So I'm changing the trajectory of how I provide therapeutic services. I want to work on the families so that we can help the children, because currently I service children. But when you speak to our youth, is what's going on in my house. Like I can't really heal, or I can't be myself because of my parents. So my husband and I are trying to tag team to approach the families and not just feel like this is my child, fix them.
That sounds like another business. So she already said mental health, helping the peoples, and then she said real estate. Wait, then she said stocks.
So real estate is the passive. You work in the beginning, and I think you could attest to it. It's a lot of work that go in the beginning, but on the first of the month when payment is due, that's just your deposits, and then you got your property manager who's managing the place. So you don't even
got a
have
property manager, y'all. Okay,
you don't have to do the work.
Yeah, that's smart. And Mr. Wilson, what does he do?
So he works full time at the airport. His heart is not there, but his body and strength is there for now. So he works at the airport, and he's the host of Relationship 101 podcast.
So they have a podcast as well, y'all. See, it can be done. Okay, it can be done.
It could be done.
So, all right. So first experience in real estate.
Our first experience was in 2011 when we purchased our primary, so where we stay.
So you were already like pretty much in real estate, but it was for your primary home. So you knew how the process go with the buying and the whole closing, and you know how much money you're gonna need. You already kind of knew that, or it was kind of like when you did the investment, it was like I really don't know what I'm doing.
So for the primary, I want to say we were educated incorrectly. So what we wish we would have done was made our primary be a duplex or a triplex so that we could live in one unit and rent out the others.
Okay, so what she's saying, y'all, this is a multi-family, right? So you have to make sure that the land is zoned to be multi-family. So probably, most likely, their primary home is sitting on a piece of land that they could have done this. But we wouldn't know that. All we want to do is just have a family, house for our family, keep it moving. But you're really not thinking about that. But now that they're educated, they was able, said that there was a possibility that they could do that.
Absolutely. So if y'all out there, work with your girl and find you a duplex or a triplex or something that she just taught me about. If it's zone for, maybe you could build later, but let your primary be an investment property, which you stand in that unit and everybody else covering your mortgage. That's what we wish we would have did.
Okay.
But
first is your primary.
First was the primary.
And then you did anything in between, or the second one became the investment?
Second one was the investment property.
Okay.
What we did in between was make a mess.
Okay. What?
So
you care to share?
Yeah, listen, I'm trying to free our people as much as I can. So I was honored to be on your podcast to reach your people in your lane of real estate. Because the mess, I'm going to talk about the mess.
Okay, let's talk about the mess because we want to make sure that we don't lose any money. Did you lose a lot of money?
No, we wasted a lot of money.
All right.
So from 2011, our first investment, we closed in 2020, was that 21 or 22? One of those. But all that time, in 2011, that purchase was all on my husband. I wasn't working. I was I stayed at home with the kids, took care of the kids.
Okay.
Later became employed, probably 4 or 5 years later. Adjusted our lifestyle to our income, where I should have been saving my income for more properties. So from 2011 to 2021, we wasted a lot of money.
Okay, let's back up. Say that again.
From 2011 to 2021, we wasted a lot of money because instead of making my income be used for investments, we adjusted our lifestyle and didn't acquire no real estate after that.
Okay.
We just stopped right there because we were sold the dream. You marry, you have children. The only thing we were missing was the white picket fence. I don't know what it said. I don't even want it.
Right.
But that was the only thing that was missing. So we stopped.
So the priority shifted.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So you went into this second, the priorities was a little off. When did a light bulb come on when you said, okay, that shift? And then once you made the shift, what did you do? Like, what did you seek out help? Did you read books? Or it was kind of like, we just gonna dive into it?
So the shift, I'm not a political person at all, but I think God used Trump to shake the people up.
Okay.
Because that shift happened for us during COVID. It was like, wait, what our money doing? What are we doing with our money?
Yeah.
Wait, so we relying on these jobs? Like, that's our only stream of income?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the catalyst for us to say, yeah, we need to refocus, reposition ourselves, and get ahead of the curve.
Just the whole pandemic.
Absolutely.
Everything going on, it was just like, okay, you have to find another way to come up with to provide generational wealth for your family, because sitting home, you wasn't able to clock in anywhere. Some people literally lost their jobs, and it was like, what are we going to do? From the pandemic had bred some of the most wonderful companies and entrepreneurs have been birthed from that time. I mean the drive and the when your back is up against the wall, it's just amazing. So you all had this experience like, okay, something has got to change.
So I'm a first honor God because our finances wasn't hit during that time. Like He covered us. We pay our tithes. I don't know if y'all believe in it or not, but baby, pay them tithes. But
wish I had the horn.
We were not, our finances were not impacted during that time.
The whole pandemic.
The entire pandemic. Our finances wasn't touched. I didn't lose my job. He didn't lose his job.
How about the stocks? Nothing really shifted.
Oh, the stocks were going up. So what we were doing? Going up.
Wow. So, okay, so you pulled the trigger at the right time to even have the money in there. You got to start somewhere. I think she said this already, but just make sure we reiterate.
Start somewhere.
Stop keeping that money in these bank accounts that's giving 0.00002%. You ain't going to get no growth in it, okay? So stop doing that. Put your money somewhere and let it sit. Leave it alone. Stop looking at it every day. That's another thing, too. Leave it alone and then watch it. Just go about your business. Keep planning. And all of a sudden you look and then you get $1,000 a day.
Absolutely.
So you got the money. And then what was what type of investment that you wanted? Did you want to do the flipping, fix and flip you started, or you did the long term?
We started with a long term. So we actually went out of state because Miami market during COVID was ridiculously priced.
Yeah.
Like people were overbidding. So the numbers didn't work. So
but you tried.
We tried. So back to your earlier question, you asked what did we do to learn about it? Was it any books? So we were reading books. We actually joined masterminds. Like we paid for knowledge to come to us quicker to save us on the learning curve.
Okay.
So our first investment was out of state. Yeah.
Was that where you messed up a little bit? That this is coming now? Like you're going to tell us where you...
No, the mess up was wasting our money during that period of not acquiring more real estate.
It. Got it.
That was the mess up.
So the idle time.
Yeah, the idle time.
I got it. So basically, keep it moving. Like don't overthink things. Just if you have a goal, keep at it and don't stop. Because after a while, you, like myself with this podcast, you wait 6 months to start another episode.
But anyway. you back, and we back, and we're growing and going. So
you learn from your mistakes. So they learned, they got their money up, and they purchased out of state. Was that difficult to do out of state?
So out of state was, it's kind of similar, but it's not as easy. Like you can't just drive 30 minutes to the property to see if the contractors are really there working. Or it's kind of like, it's really the name of your podcast, Walking by Faith.
Really is. So it was harder. How about finding the
Oh, that was online in a realtor.
So it wasn't bad at all.
The buying process is very similar. We looked up realtors on Bigger Pockets. We read reviews about the realtors. We made sure they were investment friendly. Like, you know what numbers I'm looking for. You're knowledgeable about investment properties. We asked how many did they own currently. So that process.
And you talking about the realtor?
The realtor.
Okay, yeah. Hey, how are you a realtor? So the realtor would have this information about after repair values and the current rent in that market. They're supposed to be experts. So whoever that you hire, you want to make sure that they're experts in the area that you're purchasing. Absolutely. So you did that. The numbers look right. And you purchased it, and then you got a tenant. How long did it take for you to get somebody in there?
So our first tenant, one of the tenants, it's a duplex. So one was already placed. Yeah, one was already placed. We had a tenant that was in there, and the other one stayed on the market for maybe like 30 to 45 days before the second tenant came in the.
Okay, so y'all heard this. You can purchase an investment property with somebody already in there. That is honestly like an icing on the cake if you're able to accomplish that. Of course, the numbers have to work as well, because if they have the lease and those numbers don't really work with your numbers, you may be like, I don't know if I want that tenant, but you have to honor their lease. You just can't purchase a property and say goodbye. You have to honor it, let them go that term, and then see if you want to redo the lease, create a new one, or tell them to vacate, and so you're able to up the rent. Okay, so you got the duplex, you got already tenant, and it took about 30 days. Was there any issues with like, okay, oh my mortgage is coming in and we need that extra, or was that tenant, the other tenant, kind of filling in the gap really well, or you still had that gap?
So back to what you said about honoring the previous tenant lease, we had to honor it. So he was in there under market value. I believe he was paying like $700, but that current market was like $900. So we had to honor the $700 while he was in there. Of course, we're out of state, so our mortgage isn't $4,000 or $5,000 a month. You speaking about a $900 to maybe $1,200 mortgage. He's given $700. We're taking 10% off to pay the property manager. We're left with what, $610?
10% for the property manager.
10% for the property manager. Okay. That was his cost.
Got it. Any other amount that you put aside just for like accidentals? Is there a particular?
Absolutely. Percentage? So we say 5%. So we say 5% for vacancy, 5% for operational expenses, 10% for our property manager, and of course taxes, insurance, and all that stuff we take out as well. So our mortgage at the beginning, when a tenant wasn't in there, we had to come up with, a small difference.
But it's very small.
It was small. However, you can't get in without a 6-month reserve when you're going into an investment property. So we had the reserve to cover us.
Okay, yeah, because when you are purchasing as an investor, these banks are looking at you like, okay,
can you cover?
Do you have it together? Just in case, because you actually don't own the property, the bank does. So Absolutely. They want to make sure that you are a good investor, that you have backup plans, which is monetary, so they won't have any issues with being foreclosed on and stuff like that. Absolutely. So the property needed a lot of work?
No. So we looked for something that was ready to go. So the unit that was vacant, they turned over the unit already. So it was in there.
That's great.
Yeah. And listen, it is some great and some ugly to real estate. Okay, I'm not just going to give the pretty stuff. So it got ugly for us.
Like what? Like a tenant ugly?
A tenant ugly. Oh, so the property manager, which is now fired. It's fired. Don't listen. Relationally, don't give too much grace. If they show the character enough, fire fast. And hire slow. Oh. So that property manager had to go because he put I guess the guy was selling drugs or something, but he put a drug dealer in there. He paid the deposit to get in, paid month for like 1 or 2 months and got silent. Wasn't paying.
The property manager made her property a trap house.
Made it a trap house. And was scared to kick him out.
Oh.
He was like, I rode by and people was on the street. If you don't call the police, they're trespassing.
Wow.
He was not.
And guess what? The drug dealer has a lease.
He had a lease, y'all. I was like, how did he get in there? We did the background screening. His credit score was right. I was like, did you call past, like where he stayed? Did you call the employer? Did you make sure that was a real job? Like, what did you do?
Yeah.
So that was the ugliness.
So with the property manager, that when you pay somebody that amount of money, you're looking for them to do everything. Like, don't call me unless literally the house is burning down type of situation, right? So you are trusting this person. So how important it is to get a good property manager.
That will make or break the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Your property manager will, getting the loan is easy. Qualifying is easy. Long as your credit score and all that stuff is good, then it's easy.
Right.
It's maintaining it. So that will make or break the deal.
So how long did it take to get a new property manager?
So I want to say like it took the eviction a while. We were begging this property manager to go down and evict, and he would never go. Okay. Like 2 months in, we're like, evict him. Like, don't wait another month. Oh, he promised he's going to give it. He gave a bad check that covered him for a certain amount of days. And then it was like, okay, he said he's going to pay on Friday. It got to a point where we sent like a legal email threatening him that if he don't take actions, he's going to be held. So then he evicted the tenant, and it took probably 2 to 3 months. The eviction didn't take long at all. So during that time, we were screening property managers. Now we have an amazing one. I pray he stay amazing. He's good. Knowledgeable of the market, because there are different classes to invest, in investing. Yeah. So you got your A class where they're positioned great, but you're not getting any cash flow. You're just getting appreciation. Then you have your B area that's trailing right behind the A. Then you got your C and your D. I would say that kind of was like a C, almost cross the tracks, a D neighborhood. So you get in great cash flow, the appreciation not moving as much. And we went in for cash flow, not appreciation.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure the appreciation have to do with the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then why would a drug dealer, why would
he needs to grow up
that area? Because most likely it was an area that breeds that type of. So location, yes. Right? But it was a high rental area, so it was a type of area that it's a lot of renting going on. So pick you, like, which one? Choose a battle, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of like choosing a battle.
That realtor is important.
Yeah, it really is a good area. So we have the long-term investment in another state. Do you want to do this again?
Not out of state. So currently we're looking for wholesalers, and you're my realtor for that. I'm gonna be bugging you. But we're looking for off-market deals to do the burst strategy on. So we want to take a different approach. Okay. Because after the drug dealer came in, guess what your girl and your boy had to go in there and do? Now we got to get contractors and do this renovation and turn it over again. And plus we were in another state that we didn't understand that sometimes they be below zero. Frozen pipes. Your girl from Miami.
I don't know about
that. What's a frozen pipe?
How do you prevent that?
Right. What happened over there? Oh, they were supposed to open your property manager, the one that was fired, was supposed to turn on the water and just let it drip.
That's it. And it's just maintenance that wasn't done.
That's it.
10%, y'all, that person got. But anyways, needless to say.
Yeah. So
that's just no, probably not.
But we had to learn.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. I bet you they're gonna still do out of state stuff later on. So you got the first experience, you accomplished that. What would you say was the biggest obstacle? And you said the Burr method. Why did you choose that method? Is it because you chose another method, or the Burr method is it easier? Was it easier for you?
I would say the first
and tell
investment.
The people what Burr.
So the Burr is buy, renovating it, renting it, and repeating it, like refinancing. So when we were out of state, we were looking for a long-term tenant place already in there, but that experience made us do a Burr strategy. I love numbers. So it spoke to me more passionately, like I want to be active in real estate, not necessarily passive. Okay. In the beginning, we thought we wanted to be passive, but I had fun, like calling contractors. Life is a game. Real estate is fun.
It is.
It's fun.
It really is fun. But I know you will hear horror stories and everything like that, but it takes a special person to really get into real estate and be like, I love it, because it is a thrill. It's almost like a roller coaster. Yeah. And the highs and lows of it. I remember my first property that I purchased. The wiring was bad for the electricity, and I was sitting there with my baby, and all the lights went out, and literally the main wire from one end of the house went out. So I had no money. I had to call somebody. Thank God that an electrician that just took pity on me. I remember sitting in the middle of my garage, Indian style, crying, because I was like, what am I going to do? But once I got it situated and got everything done, everything just worked out. A year later, I was able to sell that property and make $50,000 off of it. So
I sit in the dark and cry Indian style for $50,000.
But it was like, you would have never known that was gonna. I had no idea. That was my first property. I didn't even think nothing about investment. I didn't think about making money. I was just trying to find a good place where there's 8 schools for my son, and this was where I was going to be at. But just because I got that introduction, that realtor that says, hey, why can't maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. And I'm like, what? How much my house is worth? And then all of a sudden the numbers start, and I was like, oh my gosh. So that's what I'm saying. It's the roller coaster, so the thrill of it. So you said the Burr method is you buy,
you renovate
it,
you rent it.
You rent it out.
You refinance it.
You refinance. So refinancing is that you're going to be taking out some money, right? So you take out that money, then you flip that money.
And you repeat the process and go buy another one with the money you just took.
Yes. And then, okay, disclaimer. When you pull out the money, it is going to create a bill. It is going to create a bill, but the amount of money that you are receiving from your investments is supposed to pay that bill. That's absolutely how that works. And then you always have something to liquidate. So the more properties you have, and you just like, I'm tired of this one. Let me liquidate that. What I mean by liquidate, you sell it. You get that money from it, and then you're able to pay back all the loans that you had accumulated along the process. So you could do that as well. You could hold on to it, just depending on how good money management is. How is money management is for you and your family? Do you control pretty much it, or you and your husband are partnering up with that?
So we are a team, but I'm gifted in that area, and we respect each other's differences and what we're gifted in. So he trusts that managing, paying the bills, I've been showing myself faithful in that area over years. So that's kind of like the lane that I...
And as far as like with your decision making with the type of properties you use and choose, and I know you say you all are a team, but are you kind of like the one that you say, babe, I really feel good about this?
And I'm the one researching the market. He's like, you work from home, you see clients in the evening. So I'm the one that's on the internet. Like, we both agreed that it's multifamily only. We're not interested in single family right now, just because if something was to happen to that one person that's paying that mortgage, we have to cover the entire mortgage.
It does. Yeah, so, it doesn't make any sense to do it. It's definitely more cost effective for you, and the return is better with multifamily. Yeah. So with you being that person that in the family, that as a woman, do you feel that women are dominating in this real estate field?
I have a little bit of recency bias, only because me and my husband is like partners. Like, I don't see myself as, I know you're saying just because you scout the internet to find the deals, it's kind of like we're leading. Sometimes your girl need her husband credit score because she just ran hers on another deal. So it kind of
that's good.
We kind of bouncing each other, but I will say I do see a lot of women in the space of real estate trying to, because I just believe that this is a time that women are speaking out, showing up, and being more.
Do you think that it's we're forced to do it, or is by choice?
I feel like it's forced on us because they're trying to diminish the men's voices. So that's why I make mine loud. Y'all heard me say, listen, even though I'm scouting the internet, there's a man behind me. Like, it ain't me out here.
That's a blessing.
So I think society is like trying to push women be this, women do that, women just, I feel like it's forced.
Yeah, personally with myself. So I had to get over that thing in my mind, like, I want to wait because I honor marriage. I love marriage. That's something that I want. And I've always seen power couples. So I'm like, I want that. I want the power couple. I want to purchase property. I want to just take over the world in real estate as a pair. But then as time went by and that biological clock started ticking, I was like, I'm bored. I want money. Like, I don't want to wait.
Right.
You know?
And you shouldn't.
And so when I was able to do it and I was able to get approved by myself, and I was like, wow, I could do this by myself. And then I kept going, property number 2, then property number 3. And I was just like, okay, I could do this. But I'm not going to lie to you. The burden of succeeding and making all of the decisions by yourself, it is a lot, you know. But I am seeing the women that we're very, very capable of doing it. Absolutely. But it's nothing like having a team or a partner, and it don't necessarily have to be a spouse.
Absolutely.
Too. So you could team up with a good friend of course, who you trust, because remember, your name is on the deed with another person, so that it gets a little sticky. But definitely teaming up. But I do see that women are really taking a hold of real estate. And personally, my clients, I have a lot of single moms. So with the whole generational wealth thing. So what's the generational wealth goal for you and your family right now?
Listen, we're not just doing it for our children, but we're looking generations down. Our children's children. Like, we're trying to go past the 2 generations. Like, give us maybe 4.
Wow.
So for us, we are really trying to make our name great for the kingdom of God, and for people to know that you're a believer and you can do it. Because I think we get so caught up. And your name is prophetic of the podcast, Walking by Faith. But I want to add on to it because you touched on it. Walk by faith, walk in partnership, walk in authority, walk in knowledge, walk in power. So I think a lot of our community, we just walk by faith.
Okay.
No, you got to have money in the bank.
Your
credit score got to be on point. You need to make sure your realtor know where these deals at.
Move.
So it's more steps.
Like, yes. So, and it's movement. It's not just like, okay, we gonna pray and see what the Lord does.
Yeah.
Yes, pray.
Please
do. honey, that's in the word. The word says that, I mean, you got to do some works. You know, that's just what it is. In order to test that faith, you got to walk, and you got to see what it is that God is saying in your life. You got to keep moving. So with the generational wealth for your family, and you're looking at children,
Absolutely.
what is it? 3 properties a year? Is it?
So long-term goal, and I'm gonna say it now. I feel that I can. We haven't released it, so you kind of special.
Listen,
you special, girl.
Okay, go ahead.
Our long-term goal is to become general partners so that our community can invest.
Okay.
So we're not looking at,
what does that mean?
2-3 doors. We're looking at apartment units.
Okay.
Where we can open up, because you know, your boy out there talking about 10x, great, amazing, but some of us can't get into them deals where we got to be accredited investors with 50K down.
No.
So it keeps us outside. So our long-term goal is to become GPs that others can come in and invest and have some ownership.
So in order to be a general partner, what do you have? Like, what is that? A schooling? Is that certification, or that's just money?
That's just money. That's building up your community of people to that they trust you, and they just bring the funds, and you submit whatever paperwork you gotta submit. It's just a community.
Got it. So that's the thing I wanted to ask you. You going back, you were saying that you had did masterminds and stuff like that, right? Do you feel like, because there's so many out there, so many people that are scamming people and everything, right? So the beginner investors want to know, should they invest in those type of masterminds, or should they try to do things on their own initially? I even want to know, because sometimes I feel some type of way about certain people, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know, should I, or should I just open up a book and learn myself?
I want to say I'm not opposed to mentorship. We've invested. We were asking each other the other day, like, how much do you think we really invested into ourselves with all these conferences and mentorships? And we estimated to be like close to $100,000 of investment.
Whoop!
So I'm not opposed to it, but you gotta be led, because out of that 100,000, all of it, some of it didn't need to be spent, and that's just the reality. So we did invest we did a course that was out of state real estate, and it was worth it, worth every penny. So we maximized that. We purchased out of state. And then it was me. I found myself feeling like I needed to be attached to a mentorship to move again.
Okay.
So God convicted me on that, and he was like, stop paying. So I'm in a season where we don't pay for no mentorships.
Yes.
So he said, stop paying for these mentorships and masterminds, and come to the master, our Father, and hear my mind concerning you.
Yes.
So when we did that and reposition ourselves, that's when he was like, y'all are called to help generations and others. So that's where the GP and the LP. So right now,
that's where that was birthed.
Yep. So right now we're not in any mentorships, but we're going to have to do it, because we're new to being GPs and asking LPs, which is limited partners, to invest their capital and get this cash flow every quarterly.
Yeah.
So there will come a time where we're back in masterminds, but right now, no. He said, come to the master.
And you have to go through the process. So go through your process, go through your, bump your knee and stuff like that. But there are so many free resources.
It is.
So just be aware of that. You do not have to initially invest thousands and thousands of dollars into things. Like, even with me, reach out to me.
I was just about to say, you are, like, if your realtor know the numbers and they understand 1%, 2%, why pay for a mastermind? Let the commission they make off that deal pay for that mastermind.
Right.
Use them.
Bits and pieces too, because if you really savvy, You could be asking this person, that person, put it together, read that book, and you say, oh, because everything is online. Definitely. So, okay, so masterminds and mentorships is a good thing, but it just depends on where you are. Where you are mentally, where you are financially. Pray. And then God will lead you where you need to be. So I'm going to wrap it up.
Absolutely.
I thank you so much for being here. It's been a wealth of knowledge, but I have to ask you.
Ask me.
If we could talk to 18-year-old Jazz, what would she have done different, or she was happy about what she did? But what would you tell her right now in 2024?
18-year-old Jazz, I would say heal sooner than later, because I just think we would be, and I'm not that much older than 18, but that's probably how many years that is. That's some years ago, like a couple of years ago. But I would say, like, just heal sooner, because the expenses, and I'm trying to preach this to my soon-to-be 18-year-old son, but it's just like the experiences you're chasing and you're seeking and you're recklessly spending. It's like, start sooner. Okay. So the first investment property that we bought for him is to sell it so that when he's ready for his primary, we have his 20%.
Oh yeah, definitely. 20% is where this way to go.
Yeah, we have your 20. And it's just start now. Like your property when you turn 20 is not going to be the mini mansion sitting with the big gate and the big dog outside. I just feel like at 18 I was chasing something that was fake.
Okay.
Like it's fake.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's like tangible. Go to college because my parents said go to college. But at 18, your girl went to school for psychology because they said it was easy. I was really supposed to be in school for accountant, not psychology. But that was the 18-year-old Jazz.
Got it.
So heal sooner.
Heal sooner.
Go for what you really want. Don't take the easy road.
Don't take the easy road, y'all.
And start sooner.
Start sooner. Well, there you have it. First episode in my investment series, Meka Wilson.
Thank you.
Mother, sister, yes. Wife, podcaster, yes. Investor, therapist. What else?
We that's it. We gonna chef it.
That's a lot.
A believer.
Most importantly,
we said that a lot though, so yeah, I think they got that.
We got it, but that's top.
That's up there. Like I am submitted to God's vision for Jazz Meka life.
Yeah.
So whatever come from Him under His submission, that's what I am.
That part.
That's what I am.
Well, here is wrapping it up. Walking by Faith podcast. This is Kalia Nurse, real estate proud out.